whistleblower's email, and a billion-dollar empire began to crumble. This is the story of how a teenager's relentless pursuit of truth brought down one of the world's most powerful companies and changed the course of corporate history forever. From the outside, Boeing was an icon of American engineering, a company synonymous with innovation, safety, and reliability. But beneath the polished surface, a storm was brewing, one fueled by greed, mismanagement, and a toxic work culture that prioritized profit over people. It all began in early 2024, when 19-year-old Ethan Lin, a computer science prodigy and summer intern at Boeing, stumbled upon a series of encrypted emails buried deep within the company's internal servers. The contents were shocking. Engineers and executives discussing how to bypass safety protocols on the company's latest aircraft model. Ethan had always idolized Boeing. Growing up, he built model airplanes and dreamed of designing jets that would connect the world. But what he saw in those emails shattered his illusions. The company he admired was knowingly cutting corners, risking lives for the sake of quarterly earnings. At first, Ethan tried to raise his concerns through official channels. He sent detailed reports to his supervisor, outlining the discrepancies he found in safety documentation and the troubling conversations between senior engineers. His warnings were met with silence, and then with threats. "Focus on your work, Ethan. Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong," his manager told him during a closed-door meeting. The message was clear: keep quiet or face the consequences. But Ethan couldn't let it go. He began gathering more evidence, meticulously copying files, emails, and internal memos. The deeper he dug, the more he uncovered. A culture of fear, whistleblowers silenced, and a relentless drive to maximize shareholder value at any cost. He learned that the new aircraft, the Boeing 797X, had failed multiple safety tests. Instead of addressing the issues, executives ordered engineers to falsify reports and push the plane through certification. Hundreds of lives were at stake, but the company's leaders were willing to gamble with public safety. Ethan's conscience wouldn't allow him to stay silent. He reached out anonymously to a prominent investigative journalist, Maria Alvarez, who had a reputation for exposing corporate malfeasance. He encrypted the files and sent them with a simple message: "People will die if this isn't stopped." Maria recognized the gravity of what she'd received. She began a months-long investigation, corroborating Ethan's evidence with sources inside Boeing and regulatory agencies. The story that emerged was damning: a systematic effort to deceive regulators, manipulate safety data, and silence dissenters. As Maria prepared to publish her exposé, Boeing's leadership caught wind of the investigation. The company launched an aggressive internal probe, desperate to find the source of the leak. Ethan became a target. He was followed, his emails monitored, and his badge access revoked. Fearing for his safety, Ethan went into hiding. He communicated with Maria through encrypted channels, providing her with additional documents and helping her decode technical jargon. The stakes were rising, and so was the pressure. On June 12, 2024, Maria's story broke on the front page of a major newspaper. The headline was explosive: "Boeing covered up deadly flaws in new jet. Whistleblower claims." The world took notice. Regulators launched investigations, politicians demanded answers, and Boeing's stock plummeted overnight. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Airlines grounded their fleets of the 797X. International aviation authorities suspended Boeing's certifications. Lawsuits poured in from families of crash victims and airline operators. Boeing's CEO, under mounting pressure, issued a public apology and announced an internal review. But it was too late. The damage was done. The company's reputation, painstakingly built over a century, was in tatters. As the investigations unfolded, more whistleblowers came forward, emboldened by Ethan's courage. They revealed a pattern of cost-cutting, regulatory evasion, and executive bonuses tied to production targets rather than safety metrics. Congressional hearings were convened. Ethan, still in hiding, testified via video link, his identity concealed for his protection. His testimony was riveting, painting a vivid picture of a company that had lost its moral compass. The hearings exposed not just Boeing's failings, but a broader crisis in corporate governance. Lawmakers grilled executives about their obsession with shareholder value and their disregard for employee concerns and public safety. The revelations sparked a national debate about the role of corporations in society. Should profit be the sole measure of success, or did companies have a higher duty to the public? For many, Boeing's downfall became a cautionary tale of what happens when ethics are sacrificed on the altar of growth. As Boeing's legal woes mounted, the company faced billions in fines and settlements. Key executives were forced to resign, and several faced criminal charges for their roles in the cover-up. The U.S. Department of Justice launched a sweeping investigation, uncovering evidence of fraud, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to defraud regulators. The case became one of the largest corporate prosecutions in American history. Meanwhile, Ethan's identity was eventually revealed by investigative journalists. He became a reluctant hero, celebrated for his bravery, but haunted by the personal cost of his actions. His family faced harassment and threats. Boeing loyalists accused him of betrayal, while victims' families hailed him as a savior. The media frenzy was relentless, and Ethan struggled to adjust to his new reality. Despite the turmoil, Ethan remained steadfast in his belief that he had done the right thing. "If I hadn't spoken up, more people would have died," he told Maria in a rare interview. "No job, no company is worth that price." Boeing's collapse sent shockwaves through the global aerospace industry. Suppliers went bankrupt, thousands of workers lost their jobs, and airlines scrambled to find replacement aircraft. The U.S. government intervened, orchestrating a bailout to prevent the total implosion of the domestic aerospace sector. But the terms were harsh. Boeing was forced to accept sweeping reforms, including independent oversight and a complete overhaul of its leadership. The scandal also prompted regulatory agencies to tighten oversight of aircraft certification. New laws were passed to protect whistleblowers and hold executives personally liable for safety violations. In the aftermath, Boeing struggled to rebuild its reputation. The company launched a massive public relations campaign, promising transparency, accountability, and a renewed commitment to safety. But trust was slow to return. Airlines and passengers alike remained wary, and Boeing's once dominant market share dwindled as rivals capitalized on its misfortune. Ethan, now in his early 20s, became an advocate for corporate ethics and whistleblower protections. He spoke at universities, testified before Congress, and worked with nonprofits to promote transparency in business. His story inspired a new generation of engineers and business leaders to prioritize integrity over profit. "The world doesn't need more billion-dollar companies," Ethan said in a commencement address. "It needs companies that do the right thing, even when it's hard." The Boeing scandal became a case study in business schools around the world. Professors dissected the company's downfall, emphasizing the importance of ethical leadership and the dangers of unchecked corporate greed. For Ethan, the journey was bittersweet. He had brought down a billion-dollar company, but at great personal cost. He lost friends, faced lawsuits, and lived under constant threat. Yet he remained convinced that his actions had saved lives. As the years passed, Boeing slowly began to recover. New leadership implemented sweeping reforms, and the company gradually regained the trust of regulators and the public. But the scars remained. The name Boeing, once a symbol of American ingenuity, now served as a warning. No company is too big to fail. Ethan's story resonated far beyond the aerospace industry. It became a rallying cry for whistleblowers everywhere, proof that one person, even a young intern, could make a difference. The scandal also forced a reckoning within corporate America. Boards of directors re-examined their priorities, and investors demanded greater transparency and accountability from the companies they owned. Regulators, chastened by their failure to detect Boeing's misconduct, implemented stricter oversight of critical industries. The era of self-regulation was over. Ethan's courage inspired others to come forward in their own workplaces. Whistleblower hotlines saw a surge in activity, and companies scrambled to strengthen their compliance programs. The media played a crucial role in holding Boeing accountable. Investigative journalists like Maria Alvarez risked their careers, and in some cases their safety, to bring the truth to light. The story also highlighted the importance of independent oversight. Without external scrutiny, even the most respected companies could succumb to the temptations of greed and expediency. In the aftermath, Boeing's former executives faced trial. The proceedings were closely watched, and the verdict sent a clear message. Corporate leaders would be held accountable for endangering lives. Ethan testified at the trial, recounting the events that led him to blow the whistle. His testimony was instrumental in securing convictions and ensuring that justice was served. The trial also revealed the extent of the company's internal dysfunction. Employees described a culture of fear, where dissent was punished and ethical concerns were dismissed. Boeing's board of directors was forced to resign en masse, replaced by independent members with a mandate to restore integrity and rebuild trust. The company's new leadership pledged to learn from the past. They implemented robust whistleblower protections, increased transparency, and shifted the company's focus from short-term profits to long-term sustainability. Ethan, having endured years of scrutiny and hardship, found a measure of peace. He continued his studies, eventually earning a degree in engineering ethics. He dedicated his career to ensuring that what happened at Boeing would never happen again. His story was adapted into books, documentaries, and even a feature film. Audiences around the world were captivated by the tale of a young man who stood up to power and changed the world. In the end, Ethan's actions sparked a movement. Whistleblowers in other industries, from finance to pharmaceuticals, found the courage to speak out, leading to a wave of corporate accountability. The Boeing scandal became a turning point in the history of American business. It marked the end of an era of unchecked corporate power and the beginning of a new age of transparency and responsibility. Ethan's legacy endures as a reminder that integrity matters and that even the smallest voice can make a difference. His story is a testament to the power of conscience and the enduring importance of doing what's right, no matter the cost. As Boeing rebuilds, the lessons of the scandal continue to resonate. The company's new motto, "Safety First, Always," serves as a daily reminder of the price of complacency. For the families of those lost in the Boeing disasters, justice has brought some measure of closure. But the pain lingers, a stark reminder of what can happen when profit is placed above people. The whistleblowers who exposed Boeing's safety failures were not a single individual, but a group of employees and contractors who risked their careers and lives to reveal systemic misconduct. Key figures included John Barnett, a 32-year Boeing quality manager who reported missing safety components and pressure to falsify records, and Joshua Dean, a Spirit Aerosystems auditor who flagged manufacturing defects. Both faced retaliation before their untimely deaths, Barnett from a reported suicide in 2024, and Dean from a sudden infection in 2023. Their cases, alongside others like engineer Sam Salihpour, who warned of structural flaws in 787 Dreamliners, and mechanic Richard Cuevas, who reported improperly drilled bulkheads. painted a pattern of ignored warnings, workplace intimidation, and prioritization of profit over safety. Ethan Lynn, once an anonymous intern, is now a symbol of hope and courage. His story has inspired reforms, saved lives, and changed the way companies do business. The world will never forget the kid who brought down a billion-dollar company and the lessons his bravery taught us all. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more stories they don't want you to know.